So we're going to work on what is one thing in your life that you'd like to change. And so you might frame it like, I want whatever it is to change. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So have you found the one thing that you'd like to change in your life? Yes, no?
Uh, I am right now uh, a housewife. I
Mhm.
work outside, but actually, before marriage, uh, I was like a very studious kind of kid. And actually, I'm from India. So, in my country, marriage and families are these are most important thing. Okay.
Yes.
So, when I get married, so uh, my family wants that give the first priority to the family and not to the job. So they actually don't want to me to do job. So I accept that time because actually it's normal in India, right? So but now I regret that decision. So
Okay.
I feel like I have to give the first priority to my career.
Okay, so today I want my environment to change. I want my lifestyle to change. I want to go back to work, or I want to make work a priority. What specifically is it that you want to change? I understand the culture, actually, in many cultures, even here in the States, it's like so important to grow up, get married, and have your family. Uh, and I think it only came into play that women work because it's so expensive to live anymore. One salary wasn't enough. But for you, it sounds like it's more dissatisfaction. You feel like you made a wrong decision, wrong choice by putting marriage and family first when you could have had a career first, and then that could have always been something that you fall back on. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so to narrow it down to what is it that you want to change in your life right now? What's the one thing you want to change? Obviously, we can't go back in the past and change that, but today, I want what? I want blank
I
to
want
change.
I want to give the first priority to my career. I have my kids are like not that much small, but I'm not that kind of irresponsible person. But I try to give, but the problem is I'm not serious for myself. I'm very serious for my kids, their education and discipline in everything. But when it's come to me, I'm not get that much serious. I don't know why.
Okay. So I want my domestic life to change to a business life, a work life. I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm just tossing things out as suggestions. So your domestic life, for me, being the domestic engineer that you are, the homemaker that you are. So you want that to be less of a priority and going back into the workforce more of a priority. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's see how we can phrase that. I want my domestic life to be less important or to become less important than my prospective career. Does that
Mm-hmm.
sound right for you? So I want you to write that down So you're staying focused with it. So I want my domestic life to be less important than focus on my career.
Yes, ma'am.
And you know what that means. I know what you're implying with it. Okay, so now I invite you to just get really still. And these first two questions, just respond with yes or no. You want your domestic life to be less important than your focus on career. Is it true that that's what you want? Yes or no?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Are you 100% certain that you want your domestic life to become less important than a career? Are you 100% certain about that? Yes or no?
Yes, yes. It
Okay.
doesn't mean I'm not going to focus on my kids, but yes,
Okay. We're
more
not,
than anything,
no justifying. We're just talking this out. That's all. That's all. And
okay.
nobody's
Yeah.
nobody's saying you're going to make family less important unless
Mhm.
you're saying that to yourself. So when you believe this thought that you want your domestic life to become less important than a career focus, what happens and how do you react? Even if it's just inside your head, how what happens and how do you react when you believe that thought? And the thought really is that you're right now your career is less important than family. That's how you're feeling. So what happens? How are you reacting when you believe that thought?
I mean, I, I feel like I become lazy sometimes for myself.
How else do you react? What else happens when you believe that thought that you want your domestic life to become less important than focusing on a career?
How do I feel that when I?
Well, so well, first let's start. When you're feeling that your career was put on the back burner and the domestic life had to be first and foremost, and you put all of that aside, now you have some regret about that or second thoughts about that.
Mhm.
How does your body feel when you believe that thought? Is
I
there
don't
any
want.
is there a
Mhm.
tightness anywhere?
Yes, there are lots of regret in that actually.
Say it again, please.
There is lots of regret in that when I think about that. But when I think about my career, I want to give the first priority to my career. Then I feel so good. But I don't know how I'm not able to focus like how I am strict for my kids. That kind of I'm not strict for myself.
So that's what we're going to find out what beliefs you have going on around this. So I don't really want to put words in your mouth, and I'm going to see if I can phrase this in a different way. So
Mhm.
when you believe the thought that you put your career on the back burner in and put your family first, how do you react when you believe that you put your career on the back burner and made family a priority?
I'm not happy from inside.
Okay, not happy.
Mhm.
Do you beat yourself up mentally? Do you criticize yourself for
Right.
making the choices that you did? What past or future images come to mind when you believe that you put your career on the back burner and made family more important? What past images or future images?
Like lots of recurrent unsatisfaction inside, and something you want to do, but it's the
Regret why I didn't try, that kind of regret.
So what else, how else do you react when you believe this thought? Do you have any physical sensations going on? I put my career on back burner. I made the wrong decision way back when. How does your body feel when you have that kind of thought?
Stress,
Stiff all over? Or,
stress, too much stress.
and when you believe that thought, what aren't you able to do in that moment when you're holding on to that thought? What can't you do?
Future.
Can you be there for yourself in that moment?
I don't want my future with that regret actually.
So I'll say it again.
I'm saying I don't want my future with that regret actually. It's actually, when I think about it, I hate the word dependency. I just hate this word. So when I think like my career is not important, that means I am dependent on someone. So there is too much stress and pain inside, which I can't explain.
Okay. So you feel pain, emotion, you feel emotional pain when you believe
Mhm.
it's one way you react, you feel the emotional pain behind it. How are you treating your career when you have this belief that you want your career to be more important than your domestic life or to have greater value right now where you're at in your life? How are you treating the career?
Right now,
Yeah, when you think about this, so I have regret over the choice I made years ago. I should have, your mind is saying, I should have made my career first. I made a wrong decision. So career becomes the centerpiece in that moment. So, how are you treating the career? Are you treating it like it's superior to everything else? Are you treating it like an enemy or like a friend? Are you treating it like if you don't get it, the world will end? We know it won't, but is this the feeling that arises around it? How are you treating when you think about career? How are you treating it?
I want to hear you actually. What's that? Because I think internet is
How are you treating your domestic life when you believe this thought that you should have made a choice and put your career first? How are you treating your family life when you believe that your career should have come first? That all those years ago, nobody's saying your family is not important now, but in this context, you have regret that you didn't do career first and family second. In that context, how are you treating your family when you believe that thought that career should have come first?
I don't think so. I feel bad because I know with career also I'll manage the both things. But if I put career first, I have no regret about anything.
Okay. So if you had to put career first and having a family second later in life, after
Hmm.
you establish your career, just in that moment when you're believing this thought that I want my domestic life to become less important than the focus on my career, achieving the career I want, are you treating the family in that moment just with that thought And this is all just taking place in the mind. And if you really sit and meditate on this for a minute, how are you treating the family? Are you treating them as less important than the career? And again, I'm not saying they are less important. It's just in.
Uh, no, I don't think so.
Okay. So are you treating family as more important than your career?
I'm saying I'm right now not treating my career most important. But future, if I put my career first, so it's not like that. I'm treating my family like less important. It's not like that.
We're just looking for those underlying beliefs that are going on. There's no condemnation here. There's no criticism, no judgment, nothing. It's just an honest look at what's
Mhm.
going on inside of us here. So,
If I give my career first priority in future, if I think of like that, so the thing which I am doing right now, I think that things I can manage in the different way.
okay, so don't analyze. Well, do your best not to analyze anything. Well, we're just let whatever comes up come up without analyzing. Just tap into, we have roughly 60,000 thoughts or more per minute. And so when we're sitting there, and when you're sitting there and you're thinking about, oh, I wish I had have put my career first and family later, tune in to what other thoughts were going on in that moment. So if it were me having this scenario, I'd be thinking along these lines for myself. Okay, so I really wish I had put my career first, and I didn't. Well, first thing I'm going to do is start beating myself up over it. You made a wrong decision. That was bad. You weren't smart enough. I'm not smart enough. I wasn't smart enough in that moment. I, I hear my parents and my culture pushing me to have family first. And I'm angry that I followed that blindly, unquestioningly. When I believe this thought that I want my career to be more important than anything right now, I put that career on a pedestal. I sort of worship it. And in doing that, I'm making myself inferior in a number of ways. And I'm treating myself like a victim in that moment. I can't just be present for myself and take care of me in that moment. I'm too busy beating myself up in my head. I noticed that I have some slight resentment towards my family. I feel unimportant. At some level, I feel undeserving. And I feel incapable of not having been able to stand up to my parents who were pushing me into this role, and maybe other relatives too, maybe even my culture. I can feel a big knot in my stomach. It feels like this big red ball in there. It feels like a lot of anger as well. I notice my shoulders are very tense. And I start obsessing about my future, what it could be like if I put my career first. Now I'm going to stop here. That's just an example of going a little deeper into it and noticing the things that are coming up for me. How are you treating yourself when you believe that back then that you should have put your career first, and now you want to make your career quite important? How are you treating yourself when you believe that?
Find out the necessary. That's actually, I feel that's my fault. I found out unnecessary reason behind everything for me. justify like I'm not working on that, but I justify, oh, I didn't do that because of that reason, because of that reason. I don't know. I know it's wrong.
There's no wrong or right, no wrong or right at all. It's just what happens. We're always doing the best we can in every given.
Sometimes we want to do things, but that's not in our hands, in our control.
I believe everything is within our control. We let our thoughts create the beliefs, and then we're unconsciously living those beliefs. So, several times in the beginning, you mentioned in your culture. So, that's a conditioning that you experienced. And we all experience some kind of conditioning growing up. What if that wasn't part of your culture? How would your life have been lived then? If you didn't feel, when I say culture, I'm going to use the word pressure as well. If you didn't feel pressure, if you weren't taught to absolutely believe that when you grew up, you had to get married and had to have children and make them the most important thing in your life, how would you have done life differently if that was never part of your belief in the beginning? If you're, I'm not sure if you're on speakerphone or not, but when you respond, could you get closer to the microphone? I'm really having trouble hearing you when you respond. But think about that. If you had not been programmed to that you grow up, you get married, you have children, and you don't work anymore, how different would your life have been? What would you have done differently then?
I never get married, first thing.
Never get married?
Yeah.
Right.
And
Would you pursue?
second thing, independently, you know, without any dependency, just you can live your life how you want to live.
So are you starting to see that it was only the beliefs you had that propelled you into the life that you chose? You chose it because that was a belief system. I have to do this. It's expected of me. And
Yeah, lots of like expectations, lots of expectations.
yeah, and those are other people's expectations. They're not your expectations.
Mm.
And so to try and live up to someone else's expectations is impossible simply because those expectations belong to that other person. It's hard enough living up to our own expectations of ourselves if we're not being kind to ourselves. So isn't it time, or the invitation is, to let go of their beliefs and start claiming your own beliefs? Today, can you believe that you are absolutely entitled to a career, that your family can have an equal status without you exhausting yourself, and you could have the career, whatever career it is that you're going to choose, you can have that and still be a great mother and a great wife. Many women do this. And our partner, our husband, we have that conversation with him. My love of my life, I am going back into the workforce. This is what will make me happy, and I'm going to take care of me, because if I don't take care of me, I'm not going to be able to take care of you fully. I have to be happy inside of me. I have to love myself. That's my job, to love myself. It's my job to take care of me. It's my job to like me. None of those are your job. If you do those things for me, that's an act of kindness. I don't expect it from you, though. that I'm going to carve out my path now, and I'm going to pursue whatever career you're going to pursue. And love of my life, that means I'm going to need you to step up to the plate and take over or pitch in some of the roles that I fulfill in this household. Now, husband may like that conversation or may be appalled by that conversation. In either case, that's none of your business how he responds. You have to take care of you first and stay in your business. And I'm not saying be defiant or come across as defiant, simply standing your ground and claiming your rights now. What feels good to you? What you want to do. And you're going to test the waters and find out if that is what will really make you happy. My experience is when I suffer, it's because of the thoughts that I'm thinking, the beliefs that are driving those, well, actually, the thoughts that are driving those beliefs. And I have to uncover those beliefs. And that's what tonight is all about. That's what the work of Byron Katie is about. It's about finding those beliefs we have and finding out whose beliefs we're carrying. A lot of those beliefs belong to somebody else. And again, you're just conditioned to fall into that trap of somebody else's beliefs because everybody else does it in your country and your culture. That doesn't mean you have to do it too. And I know that sometimes it feels hard to buck the system that way. There's a lot of fear. What if I said to mom and dad, no, I'm not going to get married now. I'm going to finish my school and I'm going to become the world's next masterpiece, whatever it is. Now, the fear of being punished, fear of being reprimanded, ridiculed, shamed, all of that is underlying. It's happening in our thoughts unconsciously at a very rapid pace when we're contemplating that. It's so much easier to follow the rules. But it made you miserable, made you unhappy. It's filled you with regret. And today you're seeing things differently. Today you're ready to make a change. And so, what would stop you now from moving forward and going back out in the workforce, pursuing a career? What would stop you from doing that now?
Not wasting my time and focus on my career.
You'd be wasting your time. Okay, what else? What else would stop you from entering the workforce?
Feeling bad about me. Instead of that, I can work on that to make me happy.
So, feeling bad about yourself, is that what you said?
Yeah,
And what do you mean by that? In what way would you feel bad?
lots of things which I feel maybe I don't have to accept that.
Maybe you
That
don't have what?
I mean, lots of decisions which you made in your life that gives you lots of pain. So I feel like that are still somewhere inside and hurt me. So
What else would stop you entering into the workforce?
I don't know.
Are you worried what you might say or what your kids might say?
No, my kids told me you have to focus on yourself, Mama. You have to focus on your work, career.
And your husband, how do you think he will react to that?
A little bit in different way.
Say it again.
a little bit in different way.
You would understand?
Yeah,
Okay. Are you worried what your friends might think?
no, I don't care about anyone.
Okay, so not worried about what other people will think, only
No,
about thinking about yourself. When you say feel bad about yourself, at the beginning you said going to work would make you happy,
yeah,
going and having a career. So there's a contradiction going on here. You want the career, you have a belief that going back into the workforce or going into the workforce would make you happy. And yet there seems to be a fear attached to going into it because you're saying on one breath you're going to feel bad about yourself if you go in. Why would you feel bad about yourself for going to do something that you believe is going to bring you happiness?
no, I'm not feeling bad about it. I'm just when so most of the time that I feel about the previous thing, so they actually still hurt me somewhere. But when I go to work or when I think about my career, I feel so happy.
What kind of career? What would you do work wise?
Uh, Personally, I want to start my own thing, something my own, and if I get a good job, then that's also do. I want to do that because now when I go outside, talk to people, and it's so good. I was very happy when I talk to people. And today I work at the guest service here in the Target. So when I work at the guest service, and I talk to different people, and when I resolve an issue, when I help them, I feel so good. When I have uh, issues, so what I like, I don't like to give up. When whenever I try so hard in different ways, so I never leave the problem until I solve it.
So let's look at the two different routes. If you became the entrepreneur, you have this entrepreneurial spirit. If you pursue that, what specifically would you choose? What would you do as an entrepreneur? What kind of business would you start?
In my own item, my own product. I love to do, some artwork and paintings and that kind of stuff, like designing and that kind of stuff. And my background, my field is from textiles. So the clothing and this kind of stuff. So when I do painting and all that, I feel so relaxed. I enjoy that actually.
Okay, so if you did painting,
Hmm.
are you painting portraits or stills or modern art? What are you painting?
Like modern art.
And where would you sell this modern art to?
I didn't try. I just make a for house or like painting like sometime t-shirts at home for my kids. Just and actually I start some item also stitching. I stitch two items actually. So I think about it. I should work on that also. One item I want to stitch and I want to start. But that thing also I think need help and lots of other things which that's the reason I'm stuck or maybe I'm giving the nonsense reason because that I can find out the solution also.
Yourself down. You're just switched into putting yourself down. There are plenty of resources out there, and the number one resource could be for you is the Small Business Administration. They're pretty much in every town and city, and it's a vast network of retired business people who specialize in very specific aspects of business. And when you go out onto the Small Business Administration's website, you can see these different mentors. It's completely free, and they have tools out there for you to use. They have a business plan template for you to put your whole plan, your whole business out. They have many resources out on their website, and you could start with them. They've got the expertise. You can tell them very specifically, I paint modern art. I'd like to get it into people's homes, maybe even into galleries at some point, or shops or restaurants that have artwork, whatever. I mean, you're unlimited there, but you lay it out and you say, what's the best way for me to get started? What grants are available for 5'1", 100-pound women, or that kind of thing, because there's very specific grants. If you have red hair and freckles, there's a grant for you. So you would talk to them about that. That's free money, and you may have to apply for 2, 3, 4 different grants, but that's how you could get your startup capital, or one way you could get startup capital for free. So Small Business Administration would be a starting point. You can look those up through Google later. So that's one thing, being self-employed, being an entrepreneur, doing what you already love doing, painting, turning it into a very prosperous business. And if you went back and you got a job in full-time employment that way, what kind of job would you get? Or I should say, what kind of work would you pursue?
Actually, I'm not from IT line. I'm from textile line, so I don't think I have enough opportunities here.
So I didn't catch all of that, but did you answer the question? What kind of job would you pursue? Would it be retail? Would it be office kind of work? If it was retail, what kind of store would you want to be selling in? What kind of product would you want to sell? If it's more of an office environment, what specific role in the office would you like to claim? If you went to college and you have a college degree, would you want to pursue the field you studied in?
Actually, I would like to prefer the office job, but I'm not clear what I'm going to do in that.
Okay, so it started with my words, not yours. You felt like you're on the back burner for a long time because you had a family, got married and had a family, and you feel like pursuing a career was minimized. And now it feels very important to you that you have a career. And in your responses, it's coming across like you haven't given that career a great deal of thought to get your mind clear on what career would you like. You can either be the entrepreneur, self-employed, or you can go out and work for somebody else. So I would suggest getting clear on which one of those you want. And if it is working for somebody else and have the benefits and paid holidays and paid vacations, etc., then what kind of work do you think would make you happy doing that? I already feel when you're talking about painting, I can feel your energy change there. It feels higher. It feels like you're enthusiastic about that. So if you don't stick with that and you pursue another, like I said, another job, then what would light you up? When you walk around outside and you're aware of offices taking place or some friends that you've got that have different kinds of jobs, it might be even working in a daycare, it might be becoming a school teacher. What would make you light up? What is it you think you would love to do if you went to work for somebody else? So it's figuring that out first and then weighing the two, even if you have to do a simple pros and cons list for each one. Entrepreneurship, painting, what are the pros, what feel like the cons, and the same if I got a regular job, what are the pros and what are the cons to that, and look at everything. One is going to give you more flexibility to schedule, the other is going to be a rigid schedule. How old are your children now?
My daughter is 16. She's in 10th grade now, and my son is 10. He is going to be in 5th. Right now, he's in 4th grade.
Okay, so your son is 10, your 15-year-old probably could be at home by herself for a few hours. The
Yeah.
10, maybe yes, maybe the 15-year-old could look after him. However, that's a bit of pressure on the 15-year-old.
Mhm.
And she's an important age now. Of course, when we hit teenager, we want to live our own life, right? Not be the built-in babysitter. So in that structured environment, working for somebody else, you're locked into their time. So are you okay? And these are just questions to ask yourself. Am I okay with working 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 and my children are home by themselves and for a few hours until I get there? If I work at home, I'll be there when they get home. However, will I be able to set a boundary strong enough so they don't become a distraction for the work I'm trying to complete or wanting to complete? Do you understand what I'm trying to differentiate here?
Mhm.
Yes?
Yes. Yes. Mhm.
Oh, so those are just something to think about. Because if you want this career and it is not too late and there's nothing to feel bad about, you're a smart woman. You are gifted, you are intelligent, you have a fine mind, and just put it all to the use that you want it to be. So rather than, I know you've seen in a different WhatsApp group talking about kindness, and it starts with being kind to ourselves first. If we're not kind to ourselves first, we would have a hard time being really kind, genuinely kind to others. We might think we're being that. However, it's more of a facade because we're not even being it. You said you put yourself on the back burner, you put yourself last, and maybe it feels uncomfortable now to be putting yourself first. Does that feel true? Are you feeling uncomfortable about putting your needs first now?
Sometime, yes, yeah.
So, underneath that, if I put myself first, you have a pen and paper handy?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Mhm.
write down, if I put myself first, that means that. So, if I put myself first, that means that.
Mhm.
And then immediately underneath that, without stopping to think, what does that mean? If I put myself first, that means, what are you believing? If you put yourself first, what does that mean?
Independent.
Okay, but there's underlying beliefs here that are stopping you from being that. Yes, you would become possibly independent, but looking at the negative beliefs around that, what negative beliefs do you have going on? An example, if I put myself first, that means I'm being selfish.
Yeah.
And don't write it if it's not if it's not true for you. I'm being selfish.
Yes, I feel.
I'm being arrogant. Whatever comes up for you, this is what you want to see if these things are true. But first,
It's come like I'm a careless mom.
okay, so write it. I'm careless. If I put myself first, that means that I'm being selfish. I'm being arrogant. I'll be independent. What else comes to mind? And be quick in your thinking on it. Whatever comes up just bubbles up to the surface very quickly without really thinking on it. If I put myself first, that means that my family will suffer. I mean, don't write it if it doesn't apply, but whatever comes up for you, you want to find all of those underlying beliefs. And you can add to this list tomorrow, later tonight, whenever. As things bubble up, just keep asking yourself that question. If I put myself first, that means that, and whatever comes up. And those are all the underlying beliefs that are stopping you right now from moving in the direction you want to be in. They're literally what's holding you back. And then each one of these, and we haven't even finished the exercise yet tonight, but each one of these, you're going to run through those questions. Is it true I'm being selfish? If I put myself first, is it true I'm being selfish? Yes or no? Can I absolutely know putting myself first is being selfish? No, I can't absolutely know that's true. So how do I react to what happens when I'm believing that putting myself first means I'm being selfish? I feel ashamed. I feel some embarrassment. I feel like I'll be punished, whatever comes up for you. And then the next question, number 4, is who am I without that thought? Without the thought, if I put myself first, that means I'm being selfish. Who am I if I never had that thought? Oh, I'm a woman contemplating her future. I'm excited about the prospect of a new horizon for me, exploring and doing something that I'll really love doing. I mean, you're going to, those are my words, not yours, but look at who are you without those underlying beliefs, one after the other. Go through each of them, find out who you are without those thoughts. Oh, feels good. My body's relaxed. I genuinely feel uplifted without that thought. I'm living life confidently. I'm confident in myself now without that thought. And you find out what's the truth for you there. Who or what are you without that thought that puts you down if you never had it? Are you excited about life without that thought? Are you excited about a future? Doing something new and fresh, something that's going to make you soar with happiness and possibly a new income for yourself, and maybe even fame with it. People will get to know Rika the artist or Rika the teacher, whoever, whatever you decide. And now you come to the turnarounds. So I'm going to take us back to the very beginning, which was I want my domestic life to become less important than focusing on my career. That's a long sentence to work with, but we would put it to the opposite. I don't want my domestic life to be less important than my career. And then see if you can find one true statement to support that. Why don't you want your domestic life to become less important than your career? Can you find one reason why you wouldn't want your domestic situation to become less important than your career? I see one if you're open to it. Are you open to hearing it, Rekha?
Mm.
So I don't want my domestic life to be less important than my career. I want them to be equal. That feels more true for me. I want them to be equal. I want to be able to appreciate both of them at the same time. And then whatever comes up for you, you can take what I said, or you can find your own example of why you don't want your domestic life to be less important than a career. Just, can you find one? And it's okay if you can't. This is where just literally just taking your time and sitting with the question and letting the answers arise is important. Can you find anything else?
I want my career life most important right now.
Say it louder, please.
I want my career life most important right now. I want that. Actually, I want that because
I
I had almost 17 years married life. So I gave 17 years to my married life or my family life. So now I want to give my time to my career actually.
I understand you want to put your focus on your career, and you are doing, and you're going to find ways to increase that focus, and you're going to hone in on what direction you want to go, whether you want to be self-employed or go out and work for somebody else. You'll work on those, and you'll look at resources that can help you with both of them. But we're doing what's called looking at the original statement from a different perspective. And so we're just looking at it from the opposite. Your original statement is you do want your career to be more important right now.
Yeah.
The opposite, though, is the statement I said. I don't want my domestic life to be less important than my career. So it's not saying you're not going to give full attention to a career or developing a career. It's simply saying you don't want to put your family on the back burner. Wouldn't it be nice to have everything equal? Your family stays important and your career stays important. It's like having your cake and being able to eat it at the same time. You don't want to upset the apple
Mhm.
cart. You know, I want my family to always remain important, and I want my career to be important as well. And right now, where I'm at in my life, I'm going to put all of my attention, or 90% of my attention, on my career and doing something that feels great to me, that makes me feel happy to do, makes me want to get out of bed every day and just go do it. It's that exciting. It lifts me up. My life has felt dull for too long. But you're not making family less important. They're
Mhm.
important. Kids will always be important to you till the day you die. Husband, we can always replace our husbands. I'm just making a joke, but our kids will always be part of us. So they'll never be less important, but your career is going to be most of your focus right now. It's just something you really, really want. So we're not minimizing it in that statement. We're simply saying, I really don't want my family to be less than my career. I want them to stay important, and my career is very important. That they're on equal footing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I want my domestic life to be less important than my career. There are generally two other ways of looking at that sentence. I'm just not seeing it right this moment. If I do, I'll reach out to you though, because it's to the opposite, it's to the other, and it's to the self. And it's the one to the self that's really the game changer here. But it doesn't feel right here. It would be, it would be something along the lines of, I'm not going to say I want my domestic life. I want me to be less important. That's not going to happen. We're not going to make a negative statement. So I don't see the other two, but I do see the opposite. They both can have equal footing in my life. And all of my attention right now is going to be on establishing a career. I'm not too old. There's nothing to feel bad about. I'm a brilliant woman. I can and I will do this. And then exercise some visualization. Once you've decided which direction you want to go, whether it's pursuing painting or art in some other form, or whether it's an ideal job, whatever that looks like for you, just spend a couple minutes a day. All you have to do is for 17 seconds, hold a focused thought, create all those images in your mind. And sometimes, and 17 seconds doesn't sound long, and it is. When you're trying to imagine all of that in your head, the other thoughts will intrude. So we get a little distracted. What is a good way, or one way, I should say, of doing it is to write it, put it on paper, because it slows the mind down. I see myself painting from first thing when I get up till right before I go to bed, and it's just flowing through my arm and my fingers on my paintbrush, and I can see these masterpieces and start visualizing them. If that's the route you're going to go, people are buying them. One friend has told the others, told the others, told the other. A gallery reached out to me. They just write all of that down, whether it's true or not at the moment. You are creating it. You are putting the energy out there that's going to draw it to you. If you decide not to go that route and you're going to have a job, be very, very specific. Let's say I'm going to have a job in an office. I'm going to have an office job. Be specific. I'm just going to use the word administrative assistant. I'm going to be an administrative assistant for the top executive in the financial field. And I have my very own office. It's connected to my boss. We have the best working relationship. He's such a great boss. He's respectful of me. He's kind. He's thoughtful. And he's demanding, which is increasing my level of devotion, or whatever words you come up with. But be sure to get very, very specific, very detailed, because you can put it out there. I have a job as an administrative assistant. But what if you get a nasty boss and it's in a crappy area in a crummy building? So I'm in this gorgeous high-rise building. It's super modern. It's pretty new building, and the furniture is gorgeous in here, and the artwork, maybe they'll hang some of my paintings in there too. So I can that work, that side of my life, and I can still be this great administrative assistant to this boss. And it's such an important role. I'm like his right arm for this guy, blah, blah, blah. I'm, of course, making all of that up. However, do you understand what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
Yeah, give it some thought, Rekha,
Yes. I
and
have to start my own business.
you have to
That's
stop.
more I want to do actually.
Okay. Give what I've talked about tonight some thought. Sit down and make some plans, divide it out, do your pros and cons list, and see which way your heart takes you. And definitely pursue the career. If it's that important to you, you will do it. You won't stay a victim of your thoughts. You will actually take action and do it. And I'm here to support you. You can always reach out to me privately.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome, lovely lady. Have a good rest of this evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Nice
Goodbye.
to, nice to talk to you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.